Okay, so hello.
Alright.
Hello. Welcome to This is Children of the Revolution. My name is Louise Taylor and this is
Colm Cullen.
Colm Cullen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
No problem.
Yeah. So, Colm, can you tell us a bit about who you're working with?
Working with an organisation called Tamhi.
Tamhi.
Yeah, tackling awareness for mental health issues.
So it's about mental health.
Yeah.
And where are we?
North Belfast.
We're in North Belfast. And so what's happening today?
We're just down with the local schools, teaching about mental health through games.
I love that. So I met Joe quite a while ago at a public health initiative, public health agency initiative, and he was talking about some of the things that they do, like some of the exercises and stuff. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, we do like games. We built a game around Fortnite called Wellbeing Royale, which is just like Fortnite, only around mental health. And once you get, we do it through dodgeball.
Right.
And basically what will happen, once you get hit with a dodgeball, you'll kneel down, put your hand up, and then you'll be asked a mental health question.
Like what?
Like statistics. Like we have the highest suicide rate within the UK, true or false, and they'll have to give whether it is true or false.
And what is the answer?
True.
Right.
So
okay.
if they said false, then that's them out of the game. But if they say true, then they're back in.
Mm-hmm. Have you got any more questions that you would ask? That's a pretty powerful question.
Like how we're the highest using of medication within the. I think it's in Europe, isn't it?
It's. I thought it was worldwide, but anyway, maybe Europe. We'll go for it. It was still high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that'd be one of the it's just we ask them questions just because then it's going in their mind through activities.
And that's what I thought was so. It was just like dropping it in rather than making it a big deal. It was just the information was being taken in whilst they were doing things that are actually really good for mental health, physical exercise.
Yeah.
So how long have you been?
For a year.
1 year.
Yeah.
And how have you found it?
I love it. Yeah, it's really good.
And how did you get connected?
I got connected once I lost my brother in last January. And then one of my friends knew his uncle was in Tamhi, so then I got involved that way.
So you got connected because you had experienced firsthand. Your brother had completed suicide.
Yeah.
Yeah, and is that something so that happened last January?
Yeah.
Yeah, and can you tell us a bit more about, because the rates of suicide in Belfast are tragic.
Yeah.
So can you talk a bit more about how that has impacted the community and families like yourself?
Yeah, no, it's massive now. It's always there, because you always hear people going missing, and then it's right there in front of you most days whenever you open the door.
Yeah.
And then through the environment as well, run down areas, and even through the troubles and stuff, we haven't really progressed too much. It's got better, but it's not the level where it should be.
Okay, do you mind talking about, because that's something that that has been connected quite a lot, the troubles. So we're 20 years on, and how old are you?
22.
So you will have no memory of the trouble? Well, I don't know.
No, not as it was.
Not as it was, but the legacy,
Yeah, I'd say through generations, kind of goes down from generation to generation. In that sense, it's because even through sectarianism, it's still rife within communities.
Yeah.
Because there are still Catholics who don't want to hang around with Protestants, and there's Protestants who don't want to hang around with Catholics.
Yeah.
So it's still there, but it's not as bad as it was back in those days of the Troubles.
Yes. But how does it, so you're 22.
Yeah.
So what are your hopes for because you say you see it all the time.
Yeah.
You see the impact.
Yeah.
So I forgot to ask my question at the start, which is, well, do you think we need a revolution?
I think what we need is our government to actually get back into their seats and actually start putting out legislations.
You think we need our government back in?
Yeah.
Putting out legislations? And what kind of legislations would you like?
The Protect Life too. Like, it's still sitting there to be signed off, but because there's no government there to sign it off, it's just sitting there gathering dust.
Protect Life 2 strategy, which is the public health agency?
Yeah, because there's no government, it's just lying there.
Okay. And how does that feel for you?
For me, it doesn't really put much faith into the government, just because while they're sitting, still getting paid for not doing their jobs, there's still people out there who are taking their lives, or even like with benefits, and then there's like legislations that have been passed that actually hurt the people more than what they make it out to be.
Right. So what you're seeing in your community is that there's a lot of inequality.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people maybe experiencing injustices.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Not being treated.
With PIP being there, it's it's just like you almost hear a story about PIP every day, and like people find it hard to live with it, or even trying to get PIP, just because of what they have to go through to even try and get it.
Yes, a lot of, especially if you've got mental health issues, there are going to be a lot of hoops to jump and obstacles.
Yeah.
So this is something that in your work or from your general observations in the community, you've noticed that there's a lot of suffering.
Yeah.
Because of lack of care, or a lack of legislation, or
just a lack of everything. Like, it's just like people in power aren't even in power. Like, they're just sat back, still getting paid for nothing.
And that's why whenever I met Tamhi at that initiative, whenever I was the councillor there, it was the voluntary organisations. It was the families who'd experienced firsthand how the impact suicide had. They were the ones that actually inspired and impressed me. And Tamhi, because you're filling the gaps.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to fill the gaps that are there, that that actually the public agencies aren't actually taken into consideration.
Yeah.
So this organisation, you're like, you see the need.
Yeah.
And you fill the gaps.
Yeah.
So how does it made you feel since you've joined Tamhi?
Well, like, through the work that we've done, it's been really positive. Like, it's like you can actually see kids wanting to get engaged and learn more about mental health. Whereas if you were bringing them into a room and show them a PowerPoint, they wouldn't be as engaged.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Because it's so sterile, it's not really real. And it's like, it's just making it it's normalising talking about emotions and mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, like, in terms of, so I'd be interested, I hope you don't mind me asking about, what you think about maybe the difference between men, younger men.
Yeah.
I'm 40, so like I don't understand like what the issues might be around, a 40-year-old woman. So what might the issues be around for younger men not wanting to talk about these things?
It's just like the stigma around it. Like, people find it, like men, particularly men, would find it hard to open up. Men would? Yeah.
The stigma?
Yeah.
So what do you think the stigma still is?
I just think like people back in the day would probably think men were meant to be the strongest one in the household, so therefore like it's seen as weak to open up about their feelings.
And that's interesting, isn't it? Because I actually think it's incredibly brave to open up about your feelings.
Yeah.
But why do you think it might be perceived as weak to open up?
Because people would scrutinise upon how you're feeling, or think that you're attention seeking. Attention seeking? Yeah.
What do you think's wrong with seeking a bit of attention when you're struggling?
It just depends. I wouldn't really think there's any.
Neither do I.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything wrong with asking for attention when you're really struggling.
Yeah.
I think it's actually healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you think they're outdated notions? They're old.
Yeah, I think it's like older generation, like growing up through the troubles. I suppose like men would probably have to be seen as strong
Yeah.
to guide their family through what was happening.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe it's taken. So you said about generations.
Yeah.
Can you talk about more about what you mean about the generations?
I just think like parents like who'd faced like the troubles, probably they haven't really realised, but they're pushing it on to their own kids in that sense. So therefore, like from what they've dealt with, they're pushing on to their own ones.
And how do you mean? Do you mean the fears that they still have, the concerns?
Yeah, like just like the real anxiety of it all.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
But you know, anxiety, PTSD, so post-traumatic stress disorder, is like very high here.
Yeah.
But it's an anxiety disorder. But most anxiety disorders are about the future. But PTSD isn't actually. I just find this. It isn't. It's an anxiety disorder, but it's not actually about the future.
Yeah.
It's like a combination of what's happened. So it's like it's a very, very horrible mix of maybe depression and, you know, so looking back and looking forward, like all together, which can be incredibly, it's just horrible to live like that.
Yeah.
So there's a concern, so there is research about how generations pass the trauma down.
Yeah.
And that's something that you think you've noticed?
Yeah. No, it's like it is noticeable.
And can you give me like examples? You don't have to name people, like examples of where you've seen maybe traumatized thinking or behaviours passed on?
I think it's just like whenever, like say a parent witnessed someone getting killed during troubles, I think like the fear of what they've seen would be like it has been passed on to their kids, because their kids are going to be the ones who see them on a daily basis, and it'd be hard for them to really, like, because you can tell by looking at like if you look at one of your parents, you can tell that they're like, you look at them and see fear, it kind of come down to you. And
that's must be such a painful thing
even,
to see.
It's even with dogs, like if someone's if the owner's angry, then the dog is angry.
You're right.
Yeah.
That is spot on. And dogs are really protective and fierce.
So that's what a kid would be. Like that's in that situation, because the kid's learning, so therefore whenever they see their parent angry, then they're angry.
I think that's really, it makes sense when you describe it like that. So going forward, right, moving on, what do you think might need to happen?
Well, first government needs to go back in.
So the government needs to get, but then it's also like, what can we do about that? We can encourage, we can guide, we can support, but then we also don't know really what exactly is going on.
Yeah.
You know, so what other things might...
Just like everyone like open up about how they're feeling, and then if they need help, seek it.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. So if you need help, be open and honest. So we're just so open up and seek help. Be open and honest about your feelings.
Yeah.
But how would, so that sounds like a bit of a revolution in people. So how can that happen? How can we?
I just think by breaking the stigma, like people open up to each other, or checking up on friends, family.
Yes. That was one of the things I said in the public health agency. Like they all had all these steps. They had like 5 steps and 4 steps to helping somebody. And I always thought the most important thing was to care.
Yeah.
We've got so was to care about people. I was like, it should really just care.
Yeah.
Just big campaign.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Why do you think people are scared of it? Of people opening up to them?
I don't know. It's just like people just don't know how to deal. Like, so someone said to someone that they're feeling suicidal, it's just like, how do you really, because not everyone's equipped to really deal with that situation. Like, no one really knows, because all you can really do is point them towards another organisation that can help them, but until that question's actually asked or said to you, then you don't really know what to do. So
this is it. So somebody tells you that they're feeling suicidal, you think people might panic?
I think it's,
Right. Well, what would you? Well, is there any advice you would give to people? What would you suggest to people who are dealing with somebody who may have said that they're feeling suicidal, or they're?
Like I'd say, there's plenty of organisations that are there to help you in that situation, like Lifeline, PIPS, or Lighthouse. like or Samaritans.
Yeah.
So like they're all there. Like there's numbers that that you're able to use and ask for guidance.
Yeah.
And if they're not comfortable with talking, like if the person's not feeling comfortable to talk to that organisation, then you can go in with them, or even ask that organisation for what would be best.
So lots of numbers.
Yeah.
Lots of people about.
Yeah.
So as family members, so say if you've got family member who really doesn't want to speak to anybody new, they don't want to speak. So what would you suggest, like family member support? See, I would always just be like, hold the space, listen.
Yeah, because like when a person's going through that, like whenever suicide's going through their mind, like they need that person there who wants to listen to them. Because for me, you don't really need all qualifications within mental health. All you need is 2 years and a mouth, really.
2 years in a mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 years in a mouth.
Yeah.
And also to care.
Yeah.
To be like holding the space and to be like, right, okay, what would you like me to do? Who can I contact? Is there anything that will make you maybe feel better? Is there anybody we can get you to talk to? How can we make you feel safe tonight? How can we, just little.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes people will panic and they'll want to fix. But it's not actually our job to fix.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think like people do tend to panic.
Yeah.
But I just think like it's up to you kind of like to almost take a step back whenever you're dealing with something like that, and then at least take a few breaths and then go back into it.
I think that's brilliant. That's a brilliant suggestion. So you have been volunteering or working. You're on the board.
Yeah.
And very young, and you're engaged, and under really tragic circumstances. But this is what I have seen, and this is where I think the future is with the families who've had the experience and they know how traumatic and painful this is and how they can move things forward.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of activists I met with the mental health charities. There was another one, they're mental health advocates, Mental Health Matters.
Yeah.
And they were very engaged about creating change and making things better for other families.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are there anything else you'd like to say about your hopes for the future? For you, what would you like to be doing in the future?
I don't really know about me, but just that like mental health, like suicide rates drop within Northern Ireland.
Definitely. Yeah.
And hopefully soon enough, like we'll actually see changes.
And what about for people who don't want to talk? Like I love talking, but not everybody does. So how can you maybe get people? What other ways are there about getting people to engage and maybe seek help?
It's like pick up a new hobby, or like reading books, football, like any sport, or even just going out a walk.
Yes, I like going on walks.
Yeah,
going out for a walk, just doing something.
Yeah, just doing something that takes your mind off of things.
Yeah. So is there anything else you'd like to say?
No.
How did you find that?
Yeah, it's good.
We had a few interruptions, but I think we handled it well. So what I'll do is I'll get a bit of information. And thank you so much for your time. And I feel like it's brilliant that people like you are doing this work. And trying to open up, I think it's especially for a lot of our young men who are maybe struggling with opening up.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work and thank you so much.
No worries.
Thank you.